So it's another day, another driver who tried to murder me during my commute just now, trying to get here. I don't understand what it is. Like, I know, I have kind of a small car and it's kind of low to the ground. I don't know if I'm just like invisible to people, but I mean, people will just merge into me, or they would if I wasn't more aware than they were and I moved. Or like today, somebody pulled out right in front of me, so I had to slam on my brakes, and I honked.
It wasn't a big car, though.
No, it was like an SUV, yeah. But I mean, I was coming down a hill, and they were at the bottom of the hill, so there's no way they didn't see me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm coming down the hill.
Yeah, you're coming down the hill, but who knows what they were looking at?
Well,
They're
not
probably looking
me.
at their phone.
They were
or
definitely
something.
not looking at me.
Not you.
That much we know.
Doesn't like, you ever think about that? Like, you could just die at any moment. And
I think of it more like
just,
I hope I just die versus, becoming like a quadriplegic or something. I mean, I don't want to get in an accident in the first. I'm not saying I want to die, but I'm just saying like I want it to be either one or the other. I want to be like alive and healthy, or please just kill me.
You don't want to be,
but
the guy from the one music video, or it's like that's like a movie.
Yeah, it was a movie.
I never saw the movie, or
I don't. It doesn't seem like something I want to watch. But I mean, that stuff happens to me so often. It's just like the number of people that we have to share space with who are just so clearly painfully stupid is really quite amazing.
Yeah.
Like the other,
it's sometimes it's amazing that like a lot of people are still alive and functioning in society.
Right.
But at the same time, people probably think that about us.
Oh, I'm sure. But like I was watching, I wasn't feeling well the other day. I had to go get my all my booster shots. I got my COVID booster and my flu shot on the same day.
Yeah, I still got to get that COVID booster. Maybe I'll do that later on this week.
So, the next day I felt kind of poopy or whatever, And so I laid in bed and I watched UHF. I haven't seen it in a while. It's one of my, I think from in my opinion, UHF is like just one of the best movies as far as just fun. Not like a film, but just I just want to watch a fun movie that's just feels good from start to finish. It's got so much creativity and imagination in it, but it's got like this one line that always gets me in that movie, which I'm reminded of every time someone tries to murder me on the freeway. Is there's a scene where R.J. Fletcher, the Channel 8 boss, the cranky old guy, he's in his office, and this is towards the end of the movie, so Michael Richards' character, Stanley Spadowski, still works there. And he calls him in because he's looking for some file, and then after the guy leaves, R.J. Fletcher, he just goes, people like that should be put to sleep. And it's like every time I have to deal with like somebody's painful stupidity that almost kills me, that not that I actually want that to happen. I'm not a fan of eugenics. I don't need anybody to send anything into the show about that, but I can't help but think about it.
Would it surprise you at all that if I was to say that I've never watched that movie from start to finish in one sitting?
No, I assume you've seen part of it.
Yeah.
I
mean, I've seen parts of it.
Well, first of all, you should
like
watch
the different
it.
Skits, obviously.
You could probably watch it with your kids. They wouldn't get some of the references, but I still think they would enjoy it. And I think it's on Amazon Prime right now because I didn't pay for it.
Okay.
Like I typed it into.
I will totally watch that.
I typed it into Apple TV and it was available to watch on something because I didn't have to pay for it and there's no commercials. So,
heck yeah! I mean, I think that I may have intended to watch it like all the way through at one point, and then I just didn't. Like I may have rented it and then not watched it.
The first date I ever went on in my life, I tried to go take the girl to see UHF.
Oh, yeah? What did you end up seeing instead?
Parenthood.
Oh, that's kind of a weird choice. But I mean, I get it. I
mean, the only thing I would say about that, I think she was like, I don't want to see UHF. Or maybe her parents wouldn't let her see it. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like 11 or 12.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the same summer that Batman came out. But I'd already seen it, but also maybe she didn't want to see it. I don't know.
Yeah, my first date was to see Forrest Gump.
Oh, that's much later than, wow.
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that was my first date. My second date was not for many, many years.
Okay.
She had a Sega Master
so it didn't work
System
out,
in her room.
You're saying.
Unfortunately not. I thought she was cool, but...
She had a what in her room?
Sega Master System. In her room. She had a little 13-inch TV and a Sega Master System in her room. And I was like, wow.
That's kind of amazing. What are the chances? Not very, very
it's
good
funny that I was
like,
alone with a girl in a room too, and I was like, "Oh, you have Sega Master System." But like I said, we were like 11. We weren't doing anything else,
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same age.
She's also she's the person that taught me to take your fries and dip them in your Frosty, which I still do to this day. So,
yeah.
So Lindsay, if you're out there, I'm still dipping fries in the Frosty.
My wife got the air fryer out the other day and made some homemade French fries, and they were real good.
You mean like homemade, like she cut up a potato?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then put them in there. It was really good, and I was like, man, we don't have any malt vinegar, do we? Because those are like the kind of fries that are like good in malt vinegar.
Yeah, I'm like Mr. Malt Vinegar. I'm right there with you on that.
Oh yeah,
that's the good stuff.
That, and also like on fish fry, it's really good. I was out to eat like a couple months ago. My friend Joey, and he got a fish fry, and I was like, oh, can we get some malt vinegar? And I feel so bad for him because he like went to do it screwed off the top.
Oh, no.
And you would assume that it would have the little thing in there, right?
Definitely, yeah. And it did not, you're saying.
And it did not.
It just like came gushing out. I'd still eat it. But yeah, it's not going to be.
Well, me too.
Not going to be crispy.
Me too.
Anymore,
nobody wanted to talk to me afterwards, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. I mean, I like, like my malt vinegar. It tastes like fish fry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You want a little fish with your malt vinegar?
Yeah. I like some coffee. With Beastie Boys, like I like coffee with my sugar and cream, or what? Or what is it? I don't know what it is.
Remember. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the line.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Whatever, but it's
I like my sugar. I like my sugar with coffee and cream. I think that's the line.
Okay.
I like my sugar with coffee and cream.
Yes.
Hey, anyway, we were supposed to record yesterday, and then we're recording today instead, and I'm so glad. Because I was going to talk about this yesterday, but it makes more sense to talk about it today. Now, I know that you like sports about as much as you like food, but I have to talk about this, and if you have anything you'd like to say, I would, as always, I would love to hear it. But there are a few things in this world that I hate. Well, there's few things in this world I hate, period, to be honest with you. I'm not a hateful person. I hate my stepmother, and I'm not sure who else I hate. But I really hate the Houston Astros.
Oh, okay. So
and last night was Game 7, and they lost. And so no more Astros in the playoffs. They're not going to the World Series this year. And I was so happy because, I watched games. What is today? Tuesday. So Game 6 was on Sunday. So like my wife was making fun of me. Like I have YouTube TV, as my cable provider, and so you can watch two things side by side on the same screen, So like she comes and she's hanging out with me and we're drinking beer in the living room, and I've got my quote unquote TV. It's a little computer monitor that I set up just so I could watch some sports. And I had Game 6 of the ALCS on one side of the screen, and then Sunday Night Football on the other side of the screen. And obviously the Astros lost Game 6. Rangers forced to Game 7, and that's where I thought we would be at when I talked to you about it. And I'm so much happier that instead they're out, and so now I can talk about that instead.
Right. So this is like the final before deciding who's going to the World Series.
Yeah, this was the American League Championship Series. So the winner of that goes to the World Series from the American League. National League Championship
and they won
Series.
last year, right?
They won the World Series last year. Yeah.
Okay.
The Astros.
Because I was down in Corpus Christi for work about 2 weeks ago, and it was like everybody was all excited because like, oh, they're going to like the like the finals or whatever, like the like
ALCS.
LCS, yes.
Yeah, ALCS.
Yeah.
But that's the funny thing is they're playing against the Texas Rangers. So they're playing the other team from Texas. Yeah. So if you live in Texas, you can be like, hey, I'm going to support the team that didn't have advanced system of cheating in place and didn't really get punished for it.
I mean, honestly, it comes down to like whoever wins, like we all win in that situation. They're all going to be happy.
Yeah.
Because just like the representing the state in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I went to Corpus Christi, it was the first time I'd ever been to Texas.
Yeah, I've never. I've been to the airport there to take a connecting flight, but that doesn't really count.
That Dallas airport is gigantic.
Yeah,
Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah,
it was real big. But it was a quick little trip. I don't have anything to say about it except for the fact that it basically was not super hot that I was expecting.
Well, that's good.
It was just kind of rainy and gross, and it like flying in there, it was like one of the bumpiest, like most uncomfortable flights that I've had, and I don't like flying.
Yeah,
and I especially hate it when there's like a lot of bumps.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to get over it like a while back, and then I think when I was flying back from Florida a few months ago, we hit this like really big bit of turbulence,
mm-hmm.
and it like went down and up so much that I like kind of flew out of my seat.
Oh, that's a lot.
And it happened out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like no prep or anything, and it like,
man, I bet that made like everybody's buttholes pucker up tighter than a snare drum when that happened.
Yes.
It would have done that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like in that moment, because I mean, like thinking of like all the different like ways to die.
That's
like,
not a good way. Falling from the sky, you got plenty of time to think about it.
Yes.
I do not wish to go that way.
Well, isn't the whole thing about like the oxygen masks like really like I heard that it like gets you high essentially.
But
like
that's if the cabin depressurizes.
What's that?
That's like if the cabin depressurizes.
Right. But I mean, I think if you were dropping really quickly, that would probably I always thought like I don't know if this is for real. It's just one of those things that I heard that like essentially like the oxygen would like make you kind of loopy. And like,
I mean,
more willing to accept your fate, perhaps.
If that's true, then that's a nice feature, I would say.
Yes,
I've never heard that, but that doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah, but I mean, it was not a very fun thing. But ever since that happened, like I've been kind of nervous about flying again.
Yeah, I get it.
And I was getting good. I was just kind of getting like completely detached from it, where it's like, okay, I'm just like I feel okay for this. Yeah. But before, I used to like kind of, if anything happened, I would like slide down in my seat and like, kind of hold it. Yeah. And I was like over that, and then that happened, and now I'm back to
that's pretty extreme. So I don't blame you.
Yeah.
For feeling that way.
Yeah.
So, anyways, point is, Astros are out. Game 7 of the NLCS is tonight. Of course, by the time this episode is out, everybody will know the results. But as we record this, we do not know, but that's the Diamondbacks and the Phillies.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm not rooting for the Phillies because, as we discussed sometime last year, Philly sports fans are garbage human beings. So I'm not going to support them. But I also just think it's funny that the Diamondbacks are in the National League West along with the Giants and the Dodgers and the Padres. And, the Dodgers and Padres are spending all this money loading up their roster. The Dodgers won the division by like 15 or 20 games or something like that. And then, got booted out of the playoffs quite quickly. Padres didn't even make the playoffs. And so then you got the Diamondbacks who, like, I don't know, can you name a single player in the Diamondbacks? I'm not... Evan Longoria is the only one I can think of off the top of my head. And so I just think it would be hilarious just for them to make it to the World Series when, the Dodgers choked yet again and the Padres didn't even make it in the first place. So that's more, it's more about schadenfreude on the National League side. I mean, I hate the Astros, so I'm glad they're gone, but also the manager of the Texas Rangers, he was the manager of the Giants when they won their 3 World Series, like 10 years ago. So, I'm always going to root for him as well.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know the names of any baseball players except for like Votto is like the main guy.
Yeah. Joey Votto. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only one that I really
my
know.
Thing with the Astros is like, after what they did, like they didn't really pay any penalty for it. Like the team got fined like $5 million, which for a sports franchise is like.
So they cheated, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but they cheated. Like cheating is part of sports. Like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, cheating is horrible. But I'm saying like there's lines that you don't cross as far as cheating goes, right? Like sign stealing has always been a part of as long as there's been sign stealing in baseball. Like that's part of baseball. Like,
is that when you know what they're doing, or like
sign stealing is like, let's say you get a guy on second, you got a runner on second base, right? So the guy on second base, he's got like a clear view of the catcher, right? And so like he can kind of look and he can see what signs the catcher is dropping, down in his crotch there, which is how he's telling the pitcher what to throw, right? And normally if there's no runners on base, then the catchers don't need to use like a complex system of signs. It's like 1 for fastball, 2 for curveball or whatever, because they're not trying to hide it from anybody, right? Then you get a runner on second base who can clearly see what you're doing, and then they have to switch up their system, and they'll use like a sequence of signs. He'll drop like 4 signs, like 2, 1, 3, 4, or something like that. But they know how to decode that, right? Like if you ever watch a baseball game, you even see like the pitcher will pull a card out of his back pocket that's like, tells them what the rules are for their system,
Yeah.
And so to steal that, so anytime you got a runner on second, that's what he's got to deal with, is seeing like this sequence of things. And so if they can kind of decode what they're seeing and not get caught, because both the pitcher and the catcher know that the guy is going to kind of maybe try to look in or whatnot, right? But then normally, it's part of a system of self-policing. Like if you catch the other guys clearly trying to steal the signs, you just bean the next batter,
Yeah.
Just like, hey, knock it off. Plunk,
Maybe that's why I got hit with the pitch every time I was up to bat. And
that must be it. Well, that would give you a very good on-base percentage, though.
Yes.
Right?
I got hit with a pitch every single time I was up.
Wow, that's
basically.
Were you trying?
In my memory,
were you leaning in? Or?
No, I was a real big target, probably.
Man. Free base.
That probably wasn't the case, but in my memory, like that's what it was like.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the season, I was like terrified to go to games.
Oh, I get that then. So anyway, what the Astros were doing is they had a camera set up out in like the center field bleachers that was like zoomed in on the catcher's junk, right? So that it would see what signs he's putting down, right? And then they had in like back in the like not in the dugout, but like back in the clubhouse, like right inside the dugout, actually, they had a desk with like a little monitor so they could see what the camera was seeing, and they had a computer running Excel, Microsoft Excel, that had some kind of plug-in, so that like the guy the guy sitting there, he would watch the monitor and he'd say, okay, that was 2314, and he would type that into Excel, and then he would wait and see what pitch came. Oh, that was a changeup. All right, you tell Excel changeup, and like this program, you wouldn't have to do that very many times before the program would decode the code.
Yes.
And so from then on, then the guy would type in.
And they just did this with every team?
Yeah. The Astros were doing this to every team.
And it's just some guy sitting in a room, probably like in a white shirt and a tie, khakis, smoking cigarettes, looking at this little.
It could be. I'm not sure
BVM,
what he was.
probably.
I'm not sure what he was wearing, but then
I assume that's what he was probably like.
So then the guy would type in the sequence. Excel would tell him what the pitch was. And then he'd have like some kind of two-way radio with somebody somewhere else in the stadium. I'm not making this up. And that guy had a garbage can and like a bat. And so I think what they were doing is like anytime the pitch was a changeup, the guy would hit the trash can with the bat. And so that way the batter would just hear like bong, and he would know, oh, there's a changeup coming. And then it becomes a lot easier.
It's so elaborate and so extreme that when you say, oh, they're fined $5 million, like that is, it's something they did all season.
They won the World Series.
Right.
They did it all season.
Like, how was that even?
They did it for more than one season. They were doing it for like 2 or 3 seasons before they finally got caught. But they won the World Series doing that. So then the teams start catching on because they're hearing somebody's hitting a trash can, right? And so then the Astros are like, oh, they're on to us. We have to change up our thing. So then they buy some sort of like wireless buzzers that the batters wear on themselves so that the person in the dugout can just send them a little bzz. And so like the person in the batter's box would feel like the little bzz, and then they would know what pitch was coming, or maybe they only knew when like a changeup happened. And there's like I think it was when the Astros won the World Series, because they'd had this thing where they were taking off their jerseys on the field or something, like going bare chested. And Jose Altuve, he's the little guy. I don't want to use the M word, but he's like 4 foot something on the team. All of a sudden wouldn't take his jersey off. And I think it was Ken Rosenthal was interviewing him. He's like, oh, you're not taking your jersey off. And he starts like covering himself up because I think other players were trying to get his jersey off. And he's like covering himself up. Like all of a sudden he's modest. And he's like, my wife doesn't want me to take my shirt off on TV. But it's because he was wearing a buzzer under his jersey.
Right.
So anyway, so they get exposed doing all of this, right? Oh, and they beat the Dodgers in the World Series in 7 games, and it was a close series. So it's not like if they had been blowing everybody out, then you'd say, well, how much of a difference did it really make? But they won it. It was like such a tight margin. Like they totally cheated, and that's how they got a World Series victory, right? So then they get caught, right? And then the MLB launches an investigation. They give all of the players immunity to get them to talk about the system, right?
Yeah.
And then they come out with their report. They're done. The Astros get fined like $5 million. And I think the coach, the general manager, and Alex Cora, who I'm not sure what. Alex Cora had left the Astros and become the manager of the Red Sox. But I don't remember what. I think he wasn't the manager. He was like the bench coach or something for the Astros. They all got suspended for a whole year. Right. Okay. And so, like, if you go read the Wikipedia article, like, oh, this is like the biggest punishment ever meted out to a baseball team ever. Okay.
But it probably should have been even more extreme.
That's what I'm saying.
That's they just like it's so
they got to keep
out.
Their World Series championship, and nothing happened to any of the players. So now it's 7 years later, or 6 years later. The Houston Astros have been in the American League Championship Series for 7 years in a row.
Right.
And
that's
that
what
all started
saying.
with the cheating, because they still have Jose Altuve, they still have Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa's gone. But I'm saying, like, the stars on the team that were cheating, like, some of them are still there, and nothing ever happened to them, and nothing really ever happened to the team that was that big of a deal. Like, they lost some draft picks, but, like, in baseball, draft picks take years to either work out or not work out.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, you have a guy like Pete Rose, right? Now, Pete Rose, from all accounts, is not a nice guy. Like, I've never read anything that says, oh, yeah, Pete Rose is a stand-up guy. Like, Pete Rose seems like he's a horrible person, right? But he's arguably, if not the best, one of the best baseball players in the history of the game, right? Now, he got completely banned from baseball because while he was the manager of the Reds, he was doing, like, sports betting. I mean, now, of course, you have like DraftKings and MGM that are like in bed with all the leagues as far as like all of the betting sponsorships and whatnot that are going on. But, because of the Black Sox scandal in 1918? 1918? I don't remember when.
You asking me?
Yeah, sorry. There's always been this thing in baseball that like, stay far away from gambling. And so when Pete Rose did what he did, he got like a lifetime ban for that.
Right.
Then you got like Barry Bonds, speaking as a Giants fan, Barry Bonds, who, I mean, he never got busted doing steroids. Like, he never popped a positive test, but like, we all know that Barry Bonds was doing steroids, right? Like, he got in legal trouble for like perjuring himself, but he never actually got caught doing steroids. But it's just like, we all know that he did that. But as a result, he's basically been like not de jure, but de facto banned from the Hall of Fame for doing steroids. But then you've got the Houston Astros, who had this like complicated system of cheating that, in my opinion, went well outside the bounds of the game. And nothing really, like, they should have been stripped of that World Series win. Like you look at Lance Armstrong, won 7.
But you don't think they can't give it to the other team either. It's just be like,
no. Then you just say that it's like that's exactly what cycling did. Like for this huge stretch of years, there was just no winner of the Tour de France.
Right.
Because we're not going to let Lance Armstrong keep it, but you can't really say like, well, who wasn't cheating?
Yeah.
But you don't need to let the Astros keep it, and then like I don't know what you do. All I know is like it just makes my blood boil watching the Astros play, and like there's Jose Altuve, and like the commentators are putting up graphics about like, oh, he's one of the greatest postseason hitters in the history of the game. Yeah, because he was wearing a buzzer on his chest and someone was hitting a trash can. Makes me sick.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I think that's
like
totally stupid.
Why did they get immunity? Like they're the ones that should be banned from the game.
Yeah,
not Pete Rose. I don't like Pete Rose, but he's a good baseball
one of those
player.
Things. Like what you're saying to me sounds like it makes total sense. Like that should be the consequence, but that there's like it's all about money, I guess.
Oh, that's 100%.
Someplace, and that's
100%.
That's and they're just gonna like let it ride.
Yeah,
and I mean I don't know how any of the players on that team could like feel good about it either.
Oh, they don't care because in their mind it's like, well, everybody's cheating. Because that's exactly what like Lance Armstrong thinks. Like. Everybody was cheating. I was just better at cheating. Yes. And I'm sure that's what the Astros thing. Like, well, everybody steals signs. We just got smarter about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about.
Okay.
About that. I'm just glad they lost.
I feel like I got this huge list of stuff that we need to hit, but not really.
Well, no, I have other stuff. I'm saying that's all I had to say about the Astros.
No, I think that's great. I think, I mean, it's really interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That, and it's good that you have that to talk about because, I mean, these last couple weeks, as people listening probably realize as they listen to, what is it, episode 47?
47.
47 of Here's My Question for You, that there hasn't been an episode in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is...
Do I get all the complaints or do you get some complaints?
If people are complaining about it, I'm not seeing it.
I shouldn't say complain. They make me feel guilty. I was like, oh, I missed there was no episode this week, Well,
you and I, we both had some stuff going on.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I was
just still working on my house. It's just like, it's not like I'm going through some stuff. It's just like I was just busy working on my house, which is finally almost done.
Yeah. I mean, the photos you've been sending me, like it seems like the scope of the project is just ballooned, but it seems like you're having a really good time doing it.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I enjoy doing that stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
I wish it's more to me. It's just like, I wish if I didn't have a job, if I could just be retired, I would love to like be able to work on my show more, but also just kind of like be this house's caretaker.
Yeah.
And like every little thing that's not the way it should be, if I had the time to fix it, or the projects we think about doing, like, oh, it'd be nice to like, change this, modify that. I wish I had all the time to do that kind of stuff because I really do enjoy it. I like working.
And then, but by the time you're ready to retire, it's probably gonna be like, oh, like a lot of the stuff is kind of out of like requires too much physical effort to be able to like do it as well as you probably would want to do it. I don't know, or not. But
well, I mean, my neighbor stopped by the other day while I was painting. And he was talking about, because I was showing him what I was doing, and I was talking to him about the stucco molding. I had to change some of the stucco molding, and his face lit up because like, oh yeah, I need to do my stucco molding, and he was like telling me about how like, I don't know if I didn't put the miter joints together correctly, but the pine. He says to me, the pine started rotting, and I was like, what the hell are you doing buying pine stucco molding, And he says, well, it's all they had at Home Depot. I'm like, you don't buy molding at Home Depot, first of all, because like I'm using molding. The stuff I'm using is red cedar, but you just red cedar, redwood, something with tannins in it, white cedar. But anyway, my point is just like, so he's like an older guy, and he had mentioned that, at his age, he no longer feels comfortable going up on a ladder, which I don't blame him at all. I mean, so just to your point, it's just like, at some point I'm not going to want to do that anymore either.
I've worked with one guy I worked with, like he worked in the tape duplicator room, like would hit like duplicate videotapes.
Yes.
And like over one weekend, he like fell off of a ladder, like working on his house.
Yeah.
And he was like out of work for months.
Oh, that's crazy.
And like, it's not like he was like paralyzed or anything like that, but it just like caused a whole bunch of problems from that point forward for him.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I try to be very careful.
It's a scary thing. Yeah.
Going up the ladder. I make sure I get the ladder positioned correctly and it's on firm ground. And, you know,
you never know, like when something
don't run up and down, but no,
randomly happen. And like your house,
I got people actively trying to kill me on the freeway. I think I'm safer on the ladder than I am driving down the freeway.
That's true. Yeah. Especially against SUVs. Well, it's good. I mean, it sounds like you're having a good time, and I'm very proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I wish that I could do the same kind of work. I mean, I don't have like a house that's like made out of the same material as yours.
You mean,
and also mine's
wood?
like a newer house, but what?
You mean wood?
Yeah. I mean, mine has like vinyl siding and stuff on it and all this stuff.
Yeah, but you have a newer house, so probably, you know, possible that a lot of the frame for your house might be steel too.
Yeah, and there's actually like there's
nice.
some stuff I need to do like around like the door frame that's in back. It's like definitely starting to like kind of rot around the bottom.
Yeah.
So we'll need to.
Well, don't buy the molding at
I won't.
Home Depot.
I won't.
I've been thinking about it and shopping online, looking for a table saw. I want to get a table saw.
You have like a big enough garage you could like put something like that in?
Not really, but I'll find a spot for it.
Yeah.
There's just there's so much you can do with a table saw. You know, I mean, this is probably not up your alley, but lately I've been watching, you know, because I was making the joke about last time about, you know, being like Bob Vila out there, which is actually funny because Bob Vila is like the least useful person on the set, you know, of This Old House, just because he's not that's not, you know, he's like a journalism guy. You know, the fact that he can do any of that stuff is impressive. I'm not trying to, you know.
He just kind of positioned himself to be like this name that's attached with like fixing up your home.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was never a contractor. There. So the fact that he could do some of that stuff was like, oh, that's pretty good, you know? But I started watching some of the early episodes of that. But then what I found out, so I took 2.5 years of woodshop in junior high and high school. And it's 2.5 years because in junior high, it was a semester class and that's it. So, and that took 2 years of it in high school. And, you know, like in high school, there'd be sometimes you'd have like a short day for some reason. And so like each one of your classes would be a lot shorter than normal.
Yes.
And so like, you know, in woodshop, if you had a short class, it didn't make sense to do anything anymore. Right. Like,
right.
You know, he's got to take roll. Then everybody has to get all their crap out and get set up and then do work, you know, because I think
like 40 minutes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like a class was like 50 is 50 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
You got to figure 10 minutes for setup, 10 minutes for cleanup. So we already only had like 30 minutes a day to actually get any work done. And so if all of a sudden the class was only going to be like 35 or 40 minutes long, he would just be like, just don't bother. And so instead he would wheel out, he had like, you know, the TV on the cart that every school had. And he would always show old episodes. I don't know if he recorded them off TV himself or if you could buy them on VHS tape back then. But we used to watch episodes of the New Yankee Workshop, which I just found out that entire show is on YouTube. So
interesting. But This Old House, that's on. There's a YouTube channel called This Old House. Is that like the same thing?
Yeah, but you can't watch. It's got clips, but you can't watch the old episodes because they want you to. You have to pay. Like This Old House has like a LLC or something that still controls the rights to the show, and so you have to sign up and pay like $10 a month to watch those.
It's old with an E at the end, right?
I think it is. Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know about that, but which is interesting because the same guy who created This Old House also created New Yankee Workshop, but somehow he still has the rights to that show because
Did he make it afterwards or before?
Well, it was they ran concurrently.
Okay.
It was just like one of the main guys that was on This Old House. He was like the carpenter, Norm Abram. They had him come do New Yankee Workshop, but you can watch the entire series. So I've been watching a lot of that. It just made me think, you know,
that's cool.
If I just had if you gave me like a table saw and a drill press, I think there's a lot I could do You know, like there's a lot of other tools where, well, this would be easier if I had a radial arm saw or whatever. But a table saw and a drill press, like you can make furniture with that. I mean, you can make furniture by hand, but I don't have the skill for that. But
I mean, the thing is, like, I think that it would require, to like really rethink like how you've always done stuff. You know, like you'd have to. I think if I ever wanted to do something like that, I'd need to like make that the only thing that I did because I'd have a lot of catching up to do.
Oh, I don't have a response for that. Yeah,
I don't have.
Well, I have like at least one like project that I want to work on in the house that would be like sort of woodworking ish.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That was kind of my excuse. Well, if I bought a table saw, that'd be a lot easier. And that's the nice thing I think about doing this work yourself on your house.
Do it right,
is that
you do it right?
Well, yes, but I'm saying I take the money that I saved not hiring a contractor. And I can go buy tools that I'm going to need to do this job.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still spent way less money that I would have spent hiring somebody else. And now I have tools so that next time I have to do something, I've already got the tools on hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this time, the work I just did, that guy braider was indispensable. Because I just got
guy braider, 3-wood.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you're doing all this work, you wearing your flannels? Every time?
No, it was pretty hot still. I was pretty lucky that we still have like, I think like autumn is just like today is like quite a bit colder than yesterday. Tomorrow's going to be quite a bit colder than today. But up until now, we've still had mostly pretty nice warm weather. So I've been wearing t-shirts. I pretty much ruined a t-shirt. Like all this work I've been doing cost me one Target t-shirt, which that's pretty good.
Yeah, not so bad.
Because I accidentally, like my shoulder hit the wall while I was painting, and so I got like paint on the shoulder of the t-shirt, and so then I was just like, well, this t-shirt's done. And so then if I got paint on my fingers, I would just wipe it on my t-shirt because the t-shirt's already hosed, you know?
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
And it was real comfortable though by the time you finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just
yeah, what do you want?
No, I was just gonna say I was gonna kind of go in there. Like I've had a busy couple of weeks here. I mean, like I don't know if it's like I should like mention it on the show or not.
I don't know. I'm not editing anything out. So you either say it or don't. Don't tell me later, oh, can you cut that part out? No, I cannot cut that part out. You guys are having another baby.
What?
You guys are having another baby?
No. I thankfully no. I mean, I made sure that was not going to happen.
Maybe that would bring back the newness.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think so. It sounds like it make everything a lot worse, especially since like I had a vasectomy like.
But that's like 99 point, right? Like
I know.
They can still sneak out.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. I mean, did I talk about? I don't think I've mentioned that. I will endlessly laugh about that I got a vasectomy, and the doctor's name was Dr. Cox.
Yeah, we've been over that.
That it's like have we talked about that on here?
I don't
know if we mentioned it on here, but it's hilarious. That has nothing to do with it. It's just like it's been kind of a chaotic time at home. I mean, like I guess I'll just like say it. Like my wife got laid off from her job.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of scary, but also not. I think that she's very, very good at like everything she does. She's much better at everything she does than I am. You know, and she's always like gotten like done really well at every job she's had, like gotten promotions, and you know, it's just her company got absorbed into another one, and it seems like they've been slowly getting rid of all the people that got absorbed in, and then like are going offshore with like doing all this stuff. So she's kind of on the job market, but she's also like excited, you know, like excited for a bunch of stuff. And she's so like at her job, she was doing like a bunch of stuff. She's like was running this like give back program at her job, which is like working with like different nonprofit companies. And she's like really, really enjoyed doing that, like cultivating those relationships. And I think that, she wants to maybe get something that's like with one of those companies. Like she's interviewing for one of them tomorrow, but
that'd be cool.
Yeah. I think that it's the only downfall is it's like not nearly as much money as what she was making before.
Yeah.
So it gets complicated. It becomes like, well, do you take a big pay cut to do this thing that you'd like be happier doing, or what? So it's just an interesting thing. But like right after that happened, right? It happened when I was down in Texas. I got back and she like threw out her back.
Oh no!
Like so, my wife had back surgery like 12 years ago, I think. I don't know if I ever told you about this. So she had like a bulging disc in her back like 12 years ago, and we were at a friend's wedding down in Puerto Rico.
Is that like how you guys bonded? Like she had a bulging disc, you used to have a tail, like whatever.
No, I never,
okay.
No,
Okay.
no. But I mean, I could see how that would be something we could talk about.
Yeah.
I used to have a tail.
Whatever.
Yeah. But we were down in Puerto Rico on Vieques Island, I think it was.
I don't know.
And we were there for a friend's wedding, and like she had been having some back problems. Like some days were better than others. But we got down there, and she was doing pretty good. Like went swimming and stuff. And then we were gonna like do this thing where like all the people that were like there for this wedding, for this destination wedding, we're gonna go swimming in this like in the bioluminescence algae.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with that? Like it's like you get in the algae in the water. Like if you like run your hand through it, it like glows.
Yeah.
And that we were super excited about that. And we were on this like it's like this old school bus. And like to get to this place, it was just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like just throwing everyone around.
Yeah.
And she must have like hit it like in such a way, but like everything was fine. And afterwards, like everybody was out like having drinks, and we were standing outside, and she just like buckles and like falls down.
Oh my gosh.
Like could not like stand up.
Yeah.
Could not like basically like not even move her legs.
Yeah.
So like the ambulance comes, we're like in this hospital, like nobody speaks English. And it's just kind of like, oh my God, like what are we going to do? So thankfully, the wedding planner that was like, planning the wedding that we were there for, like spoke English and was able to like help us like communicate and get everything taken care of, get her on some stuff, and like she could get up and like leave. But so when we flew down to Puerto Rico, we had to like take a cruise ship, like a big boat, like a big boat, like it's not a cruise ship, but like a big, I don't know, whatever, big transport boat to this island. Took like hours.
Like
but
we ferry, had to, maybe?
Yeah.
Like a passenger ferry?
Yes. That'd be a good way to, that'd be a good thing to call it.
That's what I'm here for.
So we were on this, we had to leave. We had to go back, right? Yeah. But we couldn't like get on this thing, right? Like on this ferry. We couldn't get on this ferry to get back because it's just we were going to miss the flights that we needed to get back.
Oh, okay.
So we had to get on this little like passenger plane, I refer to as an Indiana Jones plane.
Oh wow! All right, yeah.
So we had to get in one of those where it had like 4 people.
Yeah.
And fly like to the airport where we could get on like a real plane and fly back.
Yeah.
And then shortly afterwards, she had to have surgery to like get a part of that.
This all just removed. Happened.
No,
this is the stuff that happened 12 years ago.
This happened 12 years ago.
Okay.
So she had surgery on it, and it's been really good ever since.
Yeah.
And then, if she ever has like a problem, she'll like go to a chiropractor or whatever. And like, there's a lot of people out there and will say that, chiropractors aren't good. There's some people that will swear by them.
Yeah.
Some people will say that like they just are hurting you more.
Yeah.
But she would go if she like was kind of feeling uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it would work for her.
Yeah.
But this time she went and it didn't like work. So she went back a couple days later and she was kind of getting better, but she wanted to just go one more time. And then he like transferred to this other thing where it has like, I don't know, they had to like bent her all weird, and it like made it so much worse.
Oh no.
So like the next day, like she couldn't like get up.
Yeah.
Like she couldn't like move. In the day after that, it took me like 10 minutes to get her out of bed in the morning. Like with my help.
Yeah.
So she couldn't do anything. And I'm like, we're not going back there. Like we're going to go to the doctor. So we got to the doctor, and she got like steroids and muscle relaxers.
Mm-hmm.
And she's been improving quite a bit, but she still is having a hard time kind of getting around. But she can't like bend over to pick up anything. And if she like just drops something, she just like leaves it. So I'm like constantly going through the house, like picking up everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's just like, I don't know, like a pens and papers, like have like fallen off or like magazines or anything like that. It's funny. But she's on the mend now, but like everything is kind of just like thrown in this chaos with, like with like the loss of her job. But I think that she's going to be able to get something fairly quickly. But I mean, it's just, I guess that's one of the reasons that I have not, like, because of all this stuff, I've been like saying like, oh, I need to like, kind of focus on my work. And I've like done like almost like nothing like outside of like just trying to get stuff done in terms of like at home and also like professionally and stuff like that. So I just want to say right now, 45 minutes into this episode, that I have not listened to your mini disc yet. I've been thinking about it, and every time like I think about it, like, okay, but I gotta do this and this and this. Like I have my to-do list each week, and
honestly, man, the more I think about it, I don't think you're gonna like it anyway. So I'm not even worried about it anymore.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I still want you to listen to it. When I first, I was excited, and then some things happened that I'm not going to talk about, that now I'm just not sure you're going to like it anymore. Got
some things
serious doubts. But we'll see.
Things happen.
We'll see.
I want to know what things happen.
No, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay. Well, can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
Can you tell me about the Death Cab for Cutie Postal Service?
Are you kidding? I would love to.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it since you went, and I mean, like that's like the number one thing on my list that I want to talk to you about.
Yeah,
I want to hear about it, and I just want to say, before you get into it, I think people kind of liked what we did for OK Computer, like how we ranked the songs. I think we should do it for Postal Service Give Up next.
Sure, I would love to. Although, speaking of that, you infuriated somebody by mentioning the track numbers.
I know.
Because it was like confusing, It's like, oh, this is track 6. Then what are we going to rank it as? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to say what track number it is. It's just.
Oh, I didn't see that comment.
Okay. Well, no, it was in my Discord.
Oh. Like that made them angry because I was saying.
I wouldn't say it made them angry. I think they just said it was
on the album.
They weren't angry. I think they found it confusing.
Okay.
But
we should do that for either the next episode or.
I would love to.
Okay.
Oh man. See, I wish we could have talked about this right after it happened. I had a lot of thoughts, and now they're not as congealed as they once were.
Yeah. Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
Did Ben Gibbard, like, does he wear like a black outfit for playing Transatlanticism and a white outfit for Give Up?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't like that or what?
No, I just.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't know that was going to happen because normally, like, he always wears black. Like, if it's Death Cab, he wears like black jeans and a black shirt, button down
like a
shirt.
button down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a collared shirt.
Well, they played that, and then they left, and then when they came back, this Postal Service, everybody was wearing white, and we're like, all right, that's cool. Like, I didn't see that coming. That's fine.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't even know what order to start all this in. So I guess just first thing I'll say this off the bat. I think that's the best concert I've ever seen in my life, and I think it's probably the best concert I will ever see in my life because... for me personally, I'm not saying it's the best because that's like, nobody else could ever do that. But I'm just saying, like, for me personally, You know, if I made a list of my top 20 greatest albums, both of those albums would be on the list. And so the fact that I got to go to one concert and see both of those albums played, you know, in order in their entirety, I could never ask for anything better than that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let's say off the top, I'll just say that. Like, I have nothing bad to say about the performance or anything like that. The only thing I would say, this is not a complaint. I guess this is like a reality that I didn't really expect, but I thought I remembered reading when that tour got announced, I thought I had read that Postal Service was going to be opening for Death Cab. And when I read that, to me, I didn't even question it. Like, to me, that makes sense because, like, for me personally, Death Cab is the bigger deal. Like, I love that Postal Service album, but to me, as like an indie rock fan, like, Death Cab is like maybe the greatest within that genre. Sort of that whole like sort of Seattle post grunge kind of emo indie scene. Like, Death Cab's the greatest, you know. So when we went to the concert, there was like this opening act that, off the top of my head, I can't remember the name. They were good. I'd never heard of them, but they were good. Then I thought Postal Service was coming out.
Yeah. But
instead, Death Cab comes out and plays Transatlanticism. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. Like, I don't care who goes first. I don't, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But so they come out and they play, and like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, I should have known that this would be the case, but it's just like, I'm in my own little bubble, right? Like, to me, Death Cab's a big deal. Postal Service was this cool side project that Ben Gibbard did, and it's awesome.
They've only released one album, right?
Yes. But the thing you have to realize is that album outsold anything Death Cab has ever done, right?
Okay.
So my point in saying that is that the people at this concert were there to see Postal Service. They were there to hear Such Great Heights. Like, that's what they came. Right. Like, I was in college, you know, that Such Great Heights, Postal Service was like the soundtrack to my college experience. Like, that's who came to the concert. So like, but for me, like, I, you know, if I was to make this list I'm talking about, I'm saying like Transatlanticism is probably top 5 all-time favorite albums of mine. Postal Service would be somewhere down between 10 and 20, which is still, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's still very high, right? But I'm telling you, like, I can't explain the excitement. Like, the only thing I could say to you maybe is it would be like REM says, hey, we're getting back together and we're going to go on tour, and the only thing we're going to play is New Adventures in Hi-Fi, start to finish, and then we're walking off the stage, right? Yeah. Like, you would love that, would you not? I mean, not that you wouldn't like to hear other things.
I have some thoughts on playing entire albums from start to finish in order.
Well, I want to hear those because I've got some very strong opinions as well, but maybe they're going to be the opposite of yours.
Okay.
So anyway, but I'm saying, so they come out and they're playing, you know, they come out and they start playing New Year, and I'm just like so excited. Oh my God, because
that's the first what you were excited for.
That's the first track on the album, but that's also one of my favorite Death Cab songs. I love New Year.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh man, you know. But then like the rest of the crowd, it's like, you know, they come out, the crowd's cheering, you know, they start playing the song and the crowd's not really doing anything. This is what I would say. Like the audience was very appreciative, right? Like after every song, everybody was clapping and cheering, right? Like they're having a good time. They appreciate, but it's like, I don't feel like they know these songs. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's singing along with like anything. And especially like the way the way they performed the title track live, like you would assume the entire crowd would be singing along the way. Yeah. Nobody.
That's messed up.
But I don't think it is. I think it's just, these were Postal Service people, not Death Cab people. And that's fine. Yeah. I'm not complaining at all. I had a wonderful time.
Yeah, but you'd assume that there would be like a lot of crossover.
I was surprised, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, I really shouldn't be surprised. Like this just shows you how much more successful the Postal Service album was, right?
And it makes you wonder if they even realize,
like, I've never heard,
it's like the same guy.
My wife didn't. And my wife's a perfect example. She loves that Postal Service album.
Yeah.
She didn't.
I mean, I discovered Death Cab because of Postal Service.
She didn't know it was the same band. Or it's the same guy in both bands.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, like, I remember when that album came out, like, my roommate in college, he's the one that got me into all that stuff. Like, he was like the classic emo kid with he wore Chucks and like baggy pants or baggy, either like, you know, Dickies or Ben Davis work pants or jeans.
Yeah.
The wallet on the chain, the Dickies Eisenhower jacket, the pierced eyebrow, like, you know, and he's the one that got me into Modest Mouse and Sunny Day Real Estate and Death Cab and all that stuff. And he came and visited me at some point in like 2003, 2004, and he brought me like it was like on a USB stick or something. He's like, "Oh, you got to hear this. This is how he said it. He's like, this is the new Death Cab album. It's called Postal Service." Because it had like just, it might not have even been out yet. Maybe it got leaked.
Yeah.
But because that's what he thought. He's like, "Oh, this is just a new Death Cab album."
I mean, why wouldn't you think that?
Right. But I mean, anyway, they play their set. Like I said, I loved it. And then they're like, you know, and then Ben's just like, "Oh, we'll be back in 15 minutes as Postal Service," you know. And they leave the stage, and then they go, I guess, change their clothes into the white clothes, and they had to change the setup a little bit because like none of Jimmy Tamborello's electronic whiz bangs were set up, you know.
Right.
And they came back out and they played as Postal Service, and then all of a sudden the crowd was dancing and singing, and you know.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, it's, you know, I'm not upset at all. It was just, to me, it was like eye opening, but then I thought about it and I'm like, why is that eye opening? Like, I should have known.
So did either of them play something that was like not on the album?
No. And so I thought, I'm like, oh, you know, probably they'll play some other Death Cab stuff. And
like afterwards, like as an encore.
Yeah. And they did not at all. They finished up the Postal Service set, and then they played a 2-song encore, but one of the songs, I'm ashamed to say I forgot which one. It was one of the Postal Service songs that they played it again, like acoustically. I just can't remember which one. I think it might have been Such Great Height. I don't remember. And then the other members of Death Cab came out, and then they all played a cover of, I believe it was Enjoy the Silence. It was Depeche Mode.
That's cool. Yeah.
And that's
great
like
song.
the finale. And the way they played it was really cool. And then like, that's it. End of show. But I mean, the thing is, it was a long show. I mean, you got both albums plus the opening act plus the little intermissions. It was plenty long. I would have been happy if they'd played some other Death Cab stuff. I was not in the slightest bit disappointed that they didn't.
Right. And because the things you probably wanted to hear, they already played.
Oh,
you would have want to hear the most.
Well, yeah. I mean, I could have made a list of other Death Cab songs I wouldn't have minded, you know, hearing. You know, like older stuff or you know, like newer stuff. Like "I'll Possess Your Heart." I love that song.
Just like just something random afterwards.
But like, I was totally fine with the fact that they didn't.
Right.
And part of that is just like, because of what they did instead. I'm like, well, you know, this is amazing. Because I don't know, it just made me think more. Like, I would like to see more bands do stuff like that. Because like instead what you get is like, they're going to come out and it's basically like, here's our greatest hits live. Which I'm not saying I have a problem with that. It's great. But I kind of like this sort of alternate paradigm. I mean, the only other example I can think of is I remember it was like the 20th anniversary, or maybe it was the 30th anniversary. I forgot what year it was. It might have been 2016. Like, Metallica played Master of Puppets start to finish. Although that was as part of a larger show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's cool because it's like, you know what songs they're going to play. You know what order they're going to play them in. So there's no like, oh, are they going to play this? Are they going to play that next? Why haven't they played this? It's just like, it's how I think like people who are into like classical music must feel when they go see, because like, you know, if you go see like an orchestra play, they literally tell you what they're going to play. And I assume that if you're into classical music, you're familiar with that stuff. And so it's like, you can kind of just enjoy the show without wondering like, oh, are they going to play this one that I like? Are they going to play that one? Or, you know, so I'm just saying I enjoy it, but again, because of the 2 albums that got played, I mean, that would be like, if like, I don't know, like
I get what you're saying.
If Radiohead said, we're going to go on tour and all we're going to play is OK Computer, but we're going to bring Stereolab with us and they're going to open for us and they're going to play Emperor Tomato Ketchup start to finish. Like, I'd be like, oh my God, I'll give you $1,000 for that.
Yeah,
like Nobuo Uematsu is going to go on tour and he's going to conduct an orchestra that's going to play the entire soundtrack of Final Fantasy VII. And oh, by the way, we're going to have Yuzo Koshiro and who's the other guy, Motohiro K, come out, and they're going to play Streets of Rage 1 and 2 all the way through.
All the way through.
You'd be like, oh my God.
I mean,
it's amazing.
There is certain albums that I would love to hear that with.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, I mean, like probably 8 years ago, I went to see Jimmy Eat World, who played here, and they played the entire album of Futures from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And that was, like that's my favorite album of theirs.
Okay.
I was kind of surprised that they did that because it wasn't like...
So you didn't know that was going to happen?
No, I did. It was specifically for that.
Oh, okay.
But when they finished it, they went off stage. They came back for an encore and played they played Lucky Denver Mint off of the one before, or the one in the middle.
Yeah.
And they were just like changing up like what songs they play in the encore.
Yeah.
And like from show to show. And I think that's really cool because then it gives people like, oh, you can hear like this other thing too. Sorry, my kids just got home from school and they're kind of yelling around up there and jumping around. And I like it's an interesting situation because it could go either way. One of my favorite things about going to a show is like, are they going to play this? And it's like, when they just bust out something that you're not expecting, it's like, oh, that is really awesome. Something I really like. I would never expect them to play this.
Yeah.
When it's like something like a real old, like deep cut or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. But when you know what's coming, also, it makes you just like, you're in for the experience of like listening to that album and like what you love so much from beginning to end. You're
saying.
like, you're going to experience that like in a live setting, and that's something that can't really be replaced either. So I think that it just comes down to like, I wouldn't mind seeing a band do that again, but I'd also want to see them another time after that where they're not doing that. Does that make sense? But
yes,
I mean,
but but that's the thing is like I can go, I'm sure Death Cab will go on tour again.
Oh, and then I can see them again.
I'll just go watch them again. It's no big deal. I'm saying the point
right.
of this show was like
totally.
we're playing this, and like that's of all of their albums, that's the one that I'll listen to start to finish many times.
Yes,
and I can't think of too many albums where I would feel this way. Where like, yes, I would love to go see. The band just play, and that's why I'm saying it's just like this concert, just for me personally, you'd have a hard time putting together a better one.
Exactly.
But I can think of plenty other albums where, from other bands where, we're going to come play whatever start to finish. And it could be a band that I like, but I'd be like, oh, well, that's okay, I guess. That'd be kind of cool.
I just think that sometimes like the surprise of it is makes it more enjoyable than knowing what's coming. And so do you feel like, do you think that them playing in the order of the album is like absolutely essential?
Yeah. In the way they did that, it would have been weird if they jumbled up the order.
Right.
I think.
And I think that's like also, like if you went to see somebody and they, like you get to hear this song that you're hoping that they're going to play. Yeah. And like Transatlanticism, I feel like that'd be like, it's like a great like last song to go out on, you know?
Under normal circumstances,
and I feel like
sure.
So I mean, it's just like it.
I
think it's a trade-off.
I went into this.
I see there's appeal in both of them. It's just like a trade-off.
I totally get. I just think for me, it's like what's going to happen before you go, and so it's because normally I would say what you're saying is right. Like, yeah, I mean, Transatlanticism, that's like a finale kind of song, but in this situation, it's not. I don't even look at it as individual songs. Like they're playing the entire album. It's like
I mean, it's just like if we went to see Radiohead play OK Computer.
Yeah,
exactly. It's the experience of listening to it.
Because, I mean, normally it's like a concert is building up to something, right?
Yes.
And so, like, I mean, what's the last song on OK Computer? Is that Lucky? Or The Tourist?
It's Tourist.
Normally you wouldn't end a concert on a song like that.
Right.
But if you went, it's like, no, we're playing OK Computer, the album, then I don't think you'd feel that way anymore. Because it's like, no, I heard they put out the entire meal instead of me worrying about individual dishes, you know?
Yeah. And in a lot of cases, you're hearing songs that they would never play live.
Definitely.
Which is what's cool, too.
Definitely. Yeah.
I mean, that's in a way that's like, especially if you really, really love the album, you know, that's perhaps the most appealing thing about it is like, you know, I can't believe like they're going to play this and like, how are they going to change it up? I mean, did they change it up a lot or they play it? Was it
they played it pretty straight. In a good way, you know, that I like. But yeah, they played, in both cases, I'd say they played it pretty straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, normally I would say there's maybe 4 songs on Transatlanticism that maybe I would expect to likely hear in concert. So, you know, the rest of them are stuff you wouldn't normally hear. So, but anyway, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. It just like, it was incredible.
Did you get a shirt?
No, I wasn't that into the shirt. We looked into going and seeing him again because they finished up the tour at the Hollywood Bowl, and we're like, oh, it'd be cool to go to the Hollywood Bowl. And then we looked up, you know, people have said this, so we haven't tried to buy airline tickets. We looked into airline tickets. I mean, I just live in Sacramento area. Like going to LA is no big deal, but it would have been like $1,000 round trip for the two of us. And like, I can't do that. So, you know, I'm happy we got to see it the one time. So.
Especially when it's like just seeing them again to do the same show.
Right. And that's what I try to tell my wife is I feel like there's a certain newness that won't be there anymore. It's like when if you go on a vacation somewhere for the first time, like, oh, this is awesome. We got to come back and do it again. And you go back the second time, it's still cool, but it's like, it's not, now
You're
it's not
chasing the dragon.
It's not it's exactly what it is. Yes. It's like,
that's why you should never like go on vacation.
I can tell you from firsthand experience, the first time you shoot up heroin is the best time you'll shoot up heroin.
It'll never be that good again.
No.
That's good. I mean, I wish that they played someplace. It was just Death Cab though. Like, you know.
Oh yeah, because they went on tour. Death Cab went on tour to support their new album earlier this year. So that's probably what you're talking about.
Because I think that I was like, oh, you should come here and we should go to it.
Yeah, I would have. That would have been cool. Although it's funny, I bought the new album, but I still haven't listened to it.
Oh, well, it happens.
I'm not that excited about it. It's just like, but it's a band you like, a new album comes out, you just buy it, you know?
Yeah. You just want to show support.
Kind of, but also,
nothing's going to hit in the same way.
I'm also interested to listen to it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are a lot more rich than I am, so I'm not trying to just like give them my money to support them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of concerts, I talked about this on the live stream. You probably like don't want to talk about this at all. Like, so my daughter and I went to see that Taylor Swift concert movie, the Eras tour.
Yeah.
And I thought it was real good.
I'm kind of curious to hear about it just because I'm hearing people talking about how, this is going to change the paradigm or whatever. Like, I don't really understand how it's any different than like the Stop Making Sense movie.
I mean, it's not. So the whole thing is,
but why would you want it to be?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not. So.
I mean, to me, like doing what they did, like, oh, we're going to film an entire concert and turn it into a movie and play it in movie theaters. To me, that just sounds like duh. Like that's of course. Yeah. Of course, you should do that.
That's the thing. I mean, there's like many like layers to this. I think is very interesting. Mainly because so they shot this concert it was edited together 3 shows, like the last 3 shows on our North American tour, like leg of the tour in like Los Angeles, and with all that stuff was edited together. So like she had been on the road for like a year or something like that. It was like just putting out a good show, I guess. Shot and edited this whole thing, and then went to like the movie studios, and was like, who wants to like distribute this?
Yeah,
like that sounds like easy money, right? Like it's done.
I would say so. Yes.
And they were all like, I don't know. And I guess she was just like, you know, like I'm not gonna deal with this. I'm just gonna do it myself. And
it just really goes to show like the thinking of, you know, the old school thinking of these types of people, you know?
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. Where, you know, it feels like such a sure thing.
Yeah.
They're like it seems like they should be fighting over it, honestly.
I mean, I feel like she's literally the most popular human being, at least in the United States.
In the world right now, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked a bit about this like on the stream because Try is like has no idea. Yeah. And I talked a whole bunch about it. And like one of the reasons I wanted to go as well, like I wanted to see it. Like look, it was well shot, and it's like, you know, like her I think her songs are good. You know, like the stuff that I hear is good, right? It's like I never listened to an entire album of hers. Like
I still only know the one song of hers, so I just don't have an opinion.
I mean, they're just like they're good songs, right? But one of the reasons I wanted to go is I feel like it's like a very culturally relevant thing right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that there's anybody more. I don't think there's been a performer that has been this universally popular around the world in our lifetime since Michael Jackson.
I mean, that seems like a bold statement, but I also feel like it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of like anybody else that you know was like just kind of firing on all cylinders, like super popular all around the world.
Yeah,
you know, selling out these shows so much so that people are going, and like crowds of people are going outside and standing outside of like and having like similar experiences of like just being there, you know, and like having these bonding experiences with each other. Stuff like that. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I can't think of another person in our lifetime. Yeah. You know, I'm sure there's people who say like, oh, you know, like what about, I don't know, like U2 or something. I don't even think that like as big as U2 was.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's even like, I don't think it's close.
No.
I mean,
just in terms of sheer numbers,
the stream comments from, so, I don't know, like somebody in the stream comments like said like, oh, I don't think that's true at all. Like I asked 5 of my coworkers and didn't know any of her songs. And like, I mean, it's like, I think there's a difference between like being like famous and just like popular.
Yeah.
So I just think that nobody else, like I can't think of anybody else since Michael Jackson has like been this.
Well, I mean, that's just a dumb comment, because the thing is, you could have gone back to the 80s, you know, and like, I don't know who this commenter is or where they work, but certainly in the 80s, you could have gone into some workplace and been like, oh, I asked my coworkers, they don't know any of Michael Jackson songs, because you don't listen to pop music. Like that and
we have
nothing.
Like 30 years of like Michael Jackson playing on the radio.
Yeah.
And like public like scandals and like and dying.
Yeah. I mean, like, I just got done saying, like, I don't know. I don't even know the name of the song. It was just the first song that she had that she got famous for. That's the only Taylor Swift song that I can at least kind of call up in my head. But, like, I don't think that means that she's not famous, because I'm not her target demo.
Right. But, I mean, I think that in a lot of ways, like, her music is, like, transcending, like, these, like, generational borders and cultural borders. To an extent, you know, it's just like, I think it's just like a really interesting situation. I was like, I want to go because I want to like experience, I want to be part of that happening. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, just I get it. You know, just like, so anyways, so she just like went to the theater distributors and released this this film, like through these theaters, and it like instantly became like the most successful concert film of all time, like in one weekend. It made like $138 million or something like that.
I would expect it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's only showing for like 3 weeks or something like that. And I mean, so I have not seen Stop Making Sense. I think that I know, but like the thing is, I'm not sure if Stop Making Sense is like the entire concert or not.
I believe if you watch the movie, it's the whole concert. If you get
okay, so that's
because they
really
released
cool
an album, but then a lot of songs were cut out because it wouldn't fit.
Yes, exactly.
Although I could give it to you, I have it.
Well, no,
somebody ripped the Blu-ray just to get the audio. Because I guess the Blu-ray version of the movie has the best, like the audio quality it's the best mastering you're going to get.
But there's a new, like the remaster, the 4K remaster. I want to watch the film.
Like I was watching. No, you should. I'm just saying, like if you want to just have the music, I can give you. I have the FLAC files that are like a Blu-ray rip. Okay. Because if you
I would like that afterwards. I feel like I want to.
Yeah, I'm saying if you buy like the newly released remaster of the audio. It's compressed and sounds not that great.
Okay.
Like if you want to watch the movie and get the best experience, you should get a Blu-ray from before this current re-release, if you can.
Okay.
Like
well, I'm curious. Like I want to watch this 4K remaster of the film. Like, and I talked to you about it. Like I said, I want to go see it.
Yeah.
But it was only in limited theaters for like a week.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Talking Heads is no Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Popularity-wise.
But so what I thought was interesting about this concert is that like it's like an entire concert. The movie is like over 3 hours long.
Wow, that's a long concert.
But I mean, I think that's really, really cool because I mean, I've seen like, I always talk about like whenever I'd buy like concert films or something like that, it's always like these truncated, like, oh, we're just going to pick like random songs to like put on this like, like a 90-minute film.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just think it's really cool for people who maybe wanted to go to these shows and they're sold out or too expensive. They can essentially go and like watch this and get a similar experience because the whole movie is like, what I thought was very impressive is that it's been like all like the audio's been mastered in such a specific way with like using like with Dolby Atmos or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it sounds like you're there. That's
pretty cool.
It's like all around you and above you and all this other stuff. It's really, really cool. It's like a really cool, it feels like a really good thing to do for like fans who couldn't make it to like these shows or couldn't afford it or it sells out so quick. It was just something we decided to do kind of like last minute. Because I wanted to go, but it's like I'm not going to go it's not something I would go by myself to go to. You know what I mean? Did you stop your recording by accident?
No.
Okay.
But I hit the space bar and it took you out of full screen. So I was like, oh.
Okay. So I thought it was good. It was a good show, and like, I've been thinking about it a lot because the thing isn't like all chopped up. I remember I sent you like some clips from that REM Road movie, which came out after like their Monster tour.
Yeah. And
it's just like so edited to death.
Yeah.
That it's like almost unwatchable. I remember I was so excited for that because I was like riding so high on that show. Yeah. And when that was announced as coming out, I'm going to buy that. I pre-ordered it at
Sam Goody?
No, FYE or...
Oh, yeah. For your entertainment.
Yeah. So I pre-ordered that, and when I got it, I was like, oh, it's like, kind of, it's like annoying to watch.
Yeah.
But this is not edited in such a way that is unwatchable. It's just very. It is kind of amazing the shots that are in it because there's a lot of stuff going on with drones, but people being there, and it's just is a really good way of getting that experience across to somebody who wasn't there or like couldn't go there.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really good, and I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm like, I hope that more musicians would do something like that. But at the same time, I know that I don't think that more could because I don't think that it would be worth it because this is such a big show. And there's like so many different songs from, all these hits, but also like, I guess some like deeper cuts, perhaps. I don't know. Like a lot of stuff that I had never heard. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I heard a lot of it.
Well, no, but you just by virtue of having your daughter, I'm sure you get exposed to more Taylor Swift music.
Right.
Like I literally get exposed to none, and that's why I don't know anything about any of her music.
So, I mean, it's good pop music, I think.
Yeah.
And and I have a lot more respect because she's the one that's like doing most of the writing. She's not auto-tuning her voice.
Yeah.
She can play her instruments. Yeah. I mean, I think that's there's in this day and age, there's something to be said for that. Because as time goes on, I wonder if that kind of not talent, but performers will be doing that less and less and less.
Yeah, I think that's already happening, but
Yeah, and I wonder if
still
perhaps like the two probably on the I don't know if it's like on the planet, but like the two like still like most relevant performers like still like doing all that stuff on their own are probably Taylor Swift and probably Foo Fighters.
Yeah, maybe. Speaking of being able to play instruments, I forgot to mention this. I was impressed. I didn't. So Death Cab finishes playing. They kind of clean all of their stuff up off of the stage, but they leave the drum kit, and then they have to come set up. Like I said, Jimmy Tamborello's doodads. Up on the same level as where the drum kit is. Yeah. And I didn't think anything of it. Like I left the drums there, or whatever. Because, I mean, if you listen to Postal Service, I mean, it's mostly electronic beats, but there's still some actual drums there. So anyway, they finally get to a song where, like, I forgot which song it is, but, like, the first half of it is just electronic, and then in the second half of the song, there's some actual drums. So, Ben Gibbard, he's up front, he's got his guitar. I think half the time he's just holding the guitar to hold something, which I get. I would feel ridiculous just being up there, not even holding it. But anyway, so it's like halfway through the song, he takes his guitar off, sticks it on the guitar stand, and then goes and runs behind the drum kit and sits down there. And then he's doing like a Phil Collins thing because he's playing the drums and he's still singing the song. Like, I didn't know you played the drums also. Now I hate you a little bit more for being so much more talented than me. Not really, but I was impressed. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know Ben Gibbard also plays the drums.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And then speaking of that, and then speaking of the concert thing you were just talking about, I don't know if you ever, I've never seen it. I'll be very honest and say I didn't know this existed. There's the Postal Service sort of concert documentary that came out. This was so basically, Postal Service came out and they went on a short tour when the album came out, and then they did a 10-year anniversary tour in 2013. Right. So they they actually made this film at the same venue where my wife and I saw them play this time, which is the Greek Theater, which is on the UC Berkeley campus. And they made a concert, but it's more of a documentary film. It's not just like, here's the show. It's a whole sort of documentary movie about the concert. But I didn't know that was even a thing. So, and then they released a live album to go along with it. So you can get a live album of Postal Service, or you can watch this movie. And I've never had this happen before. Maybe this is a common thing, but like I just went to Sub Pop's online storefront, and I bought 2 copies of the live album on CD, like one for me, one for my wife. But then like I bought a copy of the movie, but I just bought it digitally.
Yeah.
And you literally just download the MP4 file.
Right.
Like, I thought that was cool. Like, it's not like, oh, here's a code and you can stream it. It's like, here's the file in high definition. Just do with it whatever you want. And I was like, oh, well, that's pretty damn cool. So,
well, they probably just feel like that's the best way to. I don't know if they could justify putting on a service like that, maybe, or like.
I mean, I think it might be on Amazon somehow. I don't know. I don't remember. I thought it was cool that it's like here
because they get all the money when you buy it directly for them.
For sure,
at least
it's awesome. But anyway, I haven't watched it yet because I just got it. My wife and I are going to watch it. But just if you were not aware of that, I thought it was pretty cool.
I need to. I need to text my wife because I think she's asking. She's telling me dinner's ready.
Oh, do you know what you're having?
No,
I know you don't care because you don't like food that much, but I'm excited for you.
You know, my son.
I bet he likes food.
Never. He does.
Yeah.
He likes candy and chocolate.
Yeah.
A lot.
What about fish sticks? Does he like fish sticks?
He thinks they're okay, but he recently discovered just how good it is with tartar sauce.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, it's if talking him into eating anything with green in it is like, it's you never know how it's gonna go.
See, I feel like as an adult,
he sees like little relish bits in there.
Yeah, I get it.
He's like, I don't know.
It's pretty good. It's mostly mayonnaise, I think, but
exactly. I mean, tartar sauce is amazing.
Yeah, like I mostly eat fish sticks with malt vinegar because I feel like that's like the adult correct thing to do. But you know, I think my wife would judge me if I ate tartar sauce, but secretly I would love to have some tartar sauce.
If there's no one around to judge me, I'd probably eat tartar sauce by the spoonful.
Okay, I might not do that, but I might.
I mean, but if every other person in the world had
like if I had the jar of tartar sauce out and somebody was like, "Hey, Chris, I'll give you a quarter if you just eat a spoonful of tartar sauce," I'd be like, "There you go."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
sorry, you were going to say about.
Oh, she's just saying. I think she's going to say that. So my son's not really like big into. He doesn't take part in like making dinner, but we've been trying to get him to say like, hey, since you're so picky, like, what do you want?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And usually it's kind of a fight, but to get like anything out of him. But I guess a few days ago he was like, you know what I want to have is I want to make Cheeto chicken. So when we were doing the air frying, we like grinded up a whole bunch of Cheetos and like slathered the
just regular
chicken.
Cheetos, not
Cheeto puffs, but like the Cheeto like.
Right, I'm just saying not like flaming hot Cheetos.
No.
Okay.
I mean, my kids think that pepperoni is too spicy.
Okay. So you're saying it's chicken that's sort of breaded. I'm putting that in air quotes.
Yes, with Cheetos.
I mean, I'd eat it. I'm not going to lie.
It was good. It was good, but it almost didn't. You couldn't taste the Cheetos at all.
Oh, that's too bad. But your kids knew. It's like, well, maybe I can't taste the Cheeto, but like I know that they're there.
Yeah, and also, my son had put a little bit of, like a little bit of work into it. So he was like, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat these. Yes, he was pretty proud of himself. And I had to say thank you for for coming up with this great idea.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I only had one more thing on my list.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why. I've always been sort of personally anti-AirPods. Not like I care about anybody else having AirPods, but I always felt like I did not want AirPods. Like I've always been happy with wired earbuds.
Yeah.
And but a friend of mine has a pair, and I was like, oh, I should look into that more. And I ended up watching a video review of the new, just the most recent Pros. Iteration of the AirPods Pro.
Yeah.
And it's a video by it's like an audiophile channel, the kind of person that wouldn't normally do a video on something like AirPods, because normally they're doing like much higher, like the kind of stuff I'm not buying, like high-end audio equipment. I just think
it's on Darko Audio.
It is Darko Audio. And
I subscribe to that.
Okay, I didn't know you subscribed to Darko Audio. So
I just recently did.
I just think it's interesting to hear about stuff. Like I'm not going to buy the stuff he's talking about, but I like the way he puts his videos together. I like just hearing what he says about stuff. So he did this video about the AirPods Pro 2. And I think the title of the video, or it was in the thumbnail, was like, this is the best $250 you'll spend on hi-fi equipment this year.
Oh.
And I was like, wow. Like that's saying something, especially from a guy like him who, he's kind of audiophile snob, I would say. Mm-hmm. So I watched the video and I was like, oh, I mean, he got me interested. And then I looked and they were on sale. At Target, which I know I'm not. My opinion, by the way, of Target has not changed. Every time I have to go in there for anything, it's just like what an S-hole.
I get it.
It's just going downhill. But they were like, they were like $50 off, plus I get another 10% off because of the Target Red Card. And so I was like, I'll buy some. So main thing is, I didn't, and this is just my own stupidity, I didn't know until I watched that video that they're noise canceling.
But you can turn that off, though.
Yeah, but I don't want to turn it off. I'm saying, like, the fact that they're noise canceling was part of what I was like, oh, like, that's cool. Like, I thought they were just Bluetooth earbuds, and I'm like, what do I want that for? But the fact that, they have the little silicone things, so they're noise isolating, but then they also have the active noise cancellation, which in my opinion works quite well.
Yeah.
Is amazing. I mean, the audio quality is totally fine. Like, it's not going to blow your socks off, but it's like perfectly good. But the noise canceling is incredible.
Yeah, well, what I like about them is that if you're going out someplace, like if I'm going on a walk, if I'm taking the dog for a walk, I don't want to have like noise canceling because I don't want to like have someone come up behind me.
Yeah, so you turn them, you put them into transparency mode,
which I think is kind of awesome because what it uses like the microphone.
Yes.
So it sounds almost like talking through a microphone where you can hear it.
Yeah.
There's no lag on anything. It just like allows you to kind of hear the open air.
Yes.
Subtly behind the sound, and it's a really cool effect, and it works really well.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been very impressed with those, and then. Like, I think the very next day after that happened, I got an Apple Watch.
Oh, yeah?
Although I got this, I didn't have to pay for this. But so what happened was I went to work, the day after I got my AirPods, I go to work and I have my AirPods in my ears. I walk into my office, which I share with 2 other people. And one of my coworkers is like, oh, you got AirPods. Because, I think I had told her before about how I'm like, I don't need AirPods. I'm fine with my current system. And so she noticed like, oh, you had a change of heart with the AirPods. I was like, oh yeah. I said, I'm just stupid. I didn't know they were noise canceling, whatever. And she's like, what's really good? Like once you have those, what's good for controlling the music is if you have an Apple Watch. And I was like, yeah, like I changed my mind about the AirPods. I think I'm good with that. I think the Apple Watch, like I got my Casios, like I don't need an Apple Watch. And she says, okay, well, if you ever just want to try one out, I've got an extra one you could borrow. I'm like, well, sure. Like, I don't, why would you say no to that? Like, I've never played with an Apple Watch. Of course I'll borrow an Apple Watch. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I tell her that. And she's like, okay, And so like I come back after lunch. She lives like very close to where I work. So she goes home for lunch like every day. So I come back after lunch and she's like, oh, here you go. Here's the Apple Watch. And, I had just recently given her like 2 MacBook power adapters because I had like a MacBook Air that is just old and it was just done. But one of the power adapters I had for it was a bigger, beefier one.
Yeah.
Because I had gone to a video game convention on the East Coast and I was given like a PowerPoint presentation and I'm just dumb. And so I left the house and I forgot my power adapter. And so I had to buy one when I got there, and that's all I could get was this, larger, it's still the same. It works. It's just, it offers more current or whatever than I need,
Yeah.
So I had that and the other adapter, and that adapter is compatible with other MacBooks, including MacBook Pros. And it happened to be a MacBook Pro she had. And so I said, oh yeah, I got a couple extra adapters. You can just have them. Cause the computer got e-wasted, like I have no use for these adapters. I'm like, here, you have them. And so anyway, so she brings in the Apple Watch after lunch. She goes, oh, yeah, I think that's just a good trade for the 2.
And you're like, okay.
Well, because I think this is like a Series 6.
Yeah.
So, it's a couple years old. Like I care, So it probably is a fair trade. But to me, it's not. To me, I got the way better end of that
And you have an
deal.
iPhone also, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, it all just like works in the same ecosystem. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah. I don't know. The watch it's fine. I like it. I probably wouldn't pay for one, like this doesn't make me think like, ooh, when this one's no good anymore, I'm definitely buying a new one.
We should see if we can use the walkie-talkie feature.
Are you kidding me? I would love to.
I feel it makes you feel like, are you like being serious?
Tracy. Yeah, I'm dead serious because I know that that's an option, but I really can't think of anybody else that I want to do that with. But I would definitely do the walkie-talkie thing with you. That would be a lot of fun.
Okay, if you can do it like if you don't have to be like local to somebody, if you can just do it through the internet, I would totally, let's figure it out.
It has to be that way. Don't you think?
I would assume so, yeah.
Otherwise,
I've never done it though. I can't tell
useless. All right, after we're done,
because it makes it feel like Dick Tracy then.
Exactly.
And it's kind of funny because I didn't even know that was a thing you could do when I got mine, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. It's like Dick Tracy. It's like reality.
Yeah.
It's become, and it was not even made a big deal. Like it was not something that I picked up on, at least. Yeah. I personally really like the fitness stuff on it, where you can like see how many steps you take.
Yeah.
And you have like the 3 rings.
Yeah.
That you try to like close each day. It's like if you stand up like one time for like at least a minute every hour.
Yeah.
It's just a good way to.
Who doesn't stand up? Like unless you're a lot
of people.
Unless you're a paraplegic, how are you not standing up for at least a minute every hour? Like even if it's just to go to the bathroom.
I don't know. But there's also like the active exercise ring and the
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that because I haven't been doing any exercise, and it'll tell me like, "Oh, you hit your goal today for exercise." And I'm like, "What exercise?"
You can change it. You can change the amount.
Walking to my car from my office, like.
Well, I mean, it's like step goals. Like seriously, like people say, "Oh, you should try and take 10,000 steps." I don't know.
I just always feel like people use that as an excuse to eat like crap. Like, well, I shouldn't have.
Well, I mean,
I'm not doing like I don't. But you don't like food. But people who like food, it's like Well, I'll have a second brownie. My Apple Watch says I burned 300 calories today.
I haven't run into anybody who does that. It's always like, oh, so and so, because you can track your workouts and you can have it so it shares like, oh, so and so completed a workout, or so and so completed all 3 rings today. And I just think it's a good way that's not annoying to kind of like have to inspire other people or have them inspire you.
I get it.
To like. Well, so-and-so did it. Yeah. I guess I should try to do it too.
Yeah.
That's cool. But we should definitely try to figure out the walkie-talkie thing.
No, definitely we're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That completes my list.
Okay. Well, I still got some stuff, but I'm going to save it.
All right.
Because I got to go eat dinner.
Yes. Which you don't know what it is yet.
I don't know what it is yet.
All right.
I know that it's up there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this was episode
47.
47.
I don't think
Closing on that big 5-0.
I don't think I have anything for 47.
Me either.
When I was growing up, our CBS affiliate was Channel 47. That's not interesting.
Really? That's pretty high.
I lived in a weird place where all of our channels were UHF, like all of them. Because normally, like here where I live now, like all the network channels were on VHF. And then just sort of like the indie style channels were on UHF. But to me, where I lived as a kid, everything was on UHF. So I thought nothing of it, Like you go somewhere else UHF
with my son.
Dude, you should. Like I said, he's not going to get some of the references. I don't think it's going to matter. I think there's going to be so much meat left on that bone for your kids.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he's kind of been getting into Weird Al just in general. So I think that he probably.
Yeah.
Have
your kids ever seen Raiders of the Lost Ark?
I've tried to get them to watch it, but I think it's too slow movie. Although, recently I did just like got them to watch Beetlejuice.
Oh, good. That's a great movie.
And, like they both really liked it.
Yeah.
I think that they were wishy-washy until the song and dance part at the dinner table.
Oh.
I don't know the name of the song, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then they were like all in after that part.
Cool.
It's good. They both really liked it. And I was telling my son they should be Beetlejuice for Halloween, but he was too set on, and my wife made him this gigantic chicken nugget costume. He's like dressing up as a giant chicken nugget.
Wow. I'd like to see
it's like it's all foam. It's like a foam thing that wraps around him.
Yeah.
And like a foam like helmet, and my wife got this chicken like fried chicken looking patterned fabric.
Oh wow! I'd like to see a picture of that if you have one.
I can do that for you.
Have you guys been to McDonald's lately? I heard they have new dipping sauces. Just since you specifically said chicken nuggets, it sounds like maybe you guys should head over there.
Well, my dog is gonna be the dipping sauce, I guess.
What?
Apparently.
No. I'm talking about in reality. I'm saying McDonald's has new dipping sauce.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Which I don't know why you'd mess around with that, because if you're going to get chicken nuggets, you get the sweet and sour sauce. Everybody knows that.
Oh, exactly. But, yeah. I don't even understand why anybody would want anything else. Yeah. I always try to ask for like extra sweet and sour so I can keep it.
Yeah, I get that.
Like if we make our own chicken nuggets, then we can just use it. I'll send you a picture of that.
All right.
Anyways, I'm going to go eat.
Yes. You've been listening to episode 47. Here's my question for you. Blah, blah. Everything I say doesn't matter. So
there is no point.
Right.